Hello, my name is Chloe O'Connell and I will be taking you through this presentation of developing the aerobic capacity in team sports, and I have chosen camogie for this presentation. The outline of this presentation, one will gain the knowledge to train an aerobic capacity in camogie at a youth level. One will also be given a 5-week sample of a program that how it would look over time. One will also gain ways in which you could monitor such program type. The team information that I have chosen an under 16 camogie team, ages ranging from 14 to 16. They're in pre-season before the summer league, and their squad consists of 20 players, 2 goalkeepers, 6 backs, 6 forwards, and 6 midfielders. The training age for this team is they're working together as a close-knit team for 5 years with very little change in the squad. The gym, there's very little experience. They've only ever done the gym 1 year out of all the years they've been together. So, the demands in camogie. According to Damien Young of 2018, there is a high amount of hand or eye coordination as well as a high intensity short bursts runs. There are a few more skills such as balancing, striking. There is also possession and tackling. The balancing also consists of, where the athletes are balancing the slitter or on the hurley, or the possession and tackling where they're trying to tackle the opposing team. So, when looking at our program, we undergo the maximal aerobic speed test, which is also known as MAS. So, to take the MAS test, you take distance divided by time, and when you get that answer, it is meters per second, sorry. According to Baker of 2011, field-based sports cannot just focus on one training zone. So, as in, if a team wants to train aerobically, it can be done, but they must also train with anaerobic training also, as a field sport isn't set on just one thing. Like, if you're training in aerobic, you're also working the anaerobic system in camogie, because you have those short burst runs, as I explained in the earlier slides. So if you see here with this table here, Baker describes that the different training zones that there is. So the aerobic recovery, aerobic thresholds, the aerobic 2, the anaerobic thresholds, maximal aerobic, and super maximal aerobic. For camogie, you would want to be focusing in between. You wouldn't go any further than this, because you want to focus on 80% of their mass speed. So, for this team, we got them to perform a 1200 meter track run to record their mass test speeds. So, Group A, they covered the distance in 250 seconds, and when I divided that from 1200 meters, I got 4.8, With and with the so as you can see from the table that group A are covering more distance. And so when you have all these results, you will take, because in our program, as you will see later, that we were going to use 70% of their max speed. So I got 0.7, and I multiplied all these figures by 0.7, and I got that answer, and then I multiplied it by 15 seconds. Because you try to only do 15 seconds of each 70% sprints, because you don't want to be working that anaerobic phase when you're trying to train aerobic. So this is my 5-week program. As you can see, there is mainly aerobic and pitch sessions with 2 rest days and only 1 gym session. Didn't really focus on gym because we have established in the earlier slides that they haven't worked too much in gym, so I decided just to, in pre-season, just to do hard and light pitch sessions with aerobic twice a week. And sometimes the sprint session was added in on week 2 and week 4. So, an analysis of our 5-week program is, so the sprint session would be light. This was put into the program as a balance from working in more than one training zone, like Baker said in his paper. This has allowed the girls to work their ATP, CP, or alactic threshold. So in this sport, this is sport specific for camogie, as they have a phase where they go to short sprints to get to the slitter. So when I was thinking about this, I decided to do 10-meter sprints, and then you do a 20-meter jog to recover, and then do 10 runs of this with slightly increasing the intensity each time. With the aerobics session plans, I only focused on doing 3 different runs, or types of runs, which include active aerobic recovery, Russians, and tempo runs. Tempo runs are the athlete will use 70% of their max effort, and the distance would vary from 600 to, I'll say that again. Their max effort will, just watching my time. The distance can vary from 60 to 200 meters. Work to rest ratio is 1 to 2 to 1 to 3. And for Russians, they use 90% of their mass, which they'll have 30 seconds to run 150 meters, and they will have 60 seconds to jog back with rest time of 1 minute. Active aerobic recovery is they will run 50 meters, and then they would jog back and then go into a hand passing drill for a minute. So on our pitch sessions, so those days we would have some small-sided games, so like the octagon or backs and forwards. So there's 8 people on the outside, 4 people in the middle. 4 people must get into pairs, and basically 6 out of the 8 players on the outside will have a slitter, and the people who are the forwards will have to try pass the ball to the 2 free players. The backs and forwards, so there's 10 forwards, 10 backs, and the forwards have to control the slitter and try to score a point, and the backs their challenge is to control the slitter and puck it back out to the coach. Note, if the forwards lose possession of the ball and the backs score, the roles are reversed. So, in the study that Damien Young conducted. It is shown that the easiest way to track and monitor this type of training is using the global positioning systems, or known as GPS. This is a good method for elite sports, team sports, for the finance, who can afford the finance for the equipment. For this team, for the measuring of their heart rate, I would get them to record their heart rate before and after training. So there's my references, and thank you for listening.